Oldsmobile is a nameplate in transition. Once exclusively the home of practical but not particularly exciting family cars, this GM division has recently branched out. Products like the punchy quad-4 engine and futuristic-looking silhouette minivan are proof that, as they're so fond of telling us, Olds doesn't build the same kind of vehicle for us as it did for our parents. Now Olds is reaching out even further with its first all-wheel drive wagon, the Bravada. The idea behind Oldsmobile marketing an all-wheel drive multi-purpose wagon is not as far-fetched as it sounds. After all, most buyers of high-end Jeep Cherokees, Toyota Land Cruisers, and Range Rovers are anything but flannel shirt types. They are luxury car buyers that want year-round on-road security and enough bad weather ability to make it to the ski lodge. So the premise for the Bravada is sound. However, our initial reaction to its execution was less charitable. How could Olds expect buyers to fork over premium dollars for a gussied-up Chevy S10 Blazer? With the exception of the extra doors added last spring, the basic small Blazer Jimmy design has changed little in 8 years. Well, it seems that small changes in trucks invoke big interest. Everywhere we stopped, for gas or for lunch, the Bravada drew a crowd. While some of the folks wore flannel shirts, a lot wore suits. They liked the monochrome paint, the deeply ribbed lower body cladding, the cast wheels, and overall the fact that it was an Oldsmobile, a name with a luxury ring. Passers-by also like the interior, and so do we. The optional leather trim front bucket seats feel as great as they look. The rear bench is a solid design with a center armrest. Egress is easy and legroom plentiful. Aspects unchanged from lesser versions include an easy-to-use rear seat folding mechanism, the resulting large and flat cargo floor, and a very truck-like dash. The Bravada has an analog gauge package, although the gauges are anything but round and clear. The heat and vent controls are pod-mounted and easy to use, as is the high-mounted radio. Storage is ample too, both in and under the dash. Unique to the Bravada is this console with twin power outlets and cup holder. S10 and S15 wagons need this space for the four-wheel drive shifter, not the Bravada. Oldsmobile opted for a full-time all-wheel drive system that is always engaged and requires no driver interaction. Called Smart Track, it is similar to the unit available on Astro and Safari minivans. Torque split is 35% front and 65% rear using a viscous clutch. A limited slip rear differential is standard. Although the Bravada and its all-season tires are intended to stay mostly on pavement, they did just fine on these rutted trails. While Bravada means brave, we're not sure just how far into the bush we would venture with it. But for most owners, it is more 4x4 than they'll ever need. The powertrain is also familiar. Chevy's 4.3-liter V6 with a 4-speed automatic transmission. Horsepower is 160 with a strong 230 pound-feet of torque. As for mileage, we got a better than expected 20 over our economy loop. Another surprise is how much smoother the highway ride of the Bravada is over a similar Blazer. We complained during our four-door Blazer test last spring that the suspension was too harsh for daily driving. Not so with the Bravada. Most normal luxury cars would be happy with the Bravada's ride comfort. While at the high end, we don't consider the Bravada's $23,795 price excessive, even if you add another $650 for leather. You can spend a lot more than that for its competition and have fewer features. The Bravada is well done and different enough from its Chevy and GMC brothers to stand on its own four wheels. We thought Oldsmobile was either brave or stupid when we first heard about the Bravada. Now that we've driven it, we think it's a smart piece of work.